Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely duct tape. I apologize for cutting it short, but we have our players ready and waiting, and they are eager to jump into the first semifinals, and I should open predictions. There we go. Upon hearing this message, you have 2 minutes to place your bets on who you believe is going to be this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup finalist. Is it going to be one Protoss or the other? Is it going to be this player here in the bottom right-hand corner of Krystianer? We have the Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer. Or is it going to be the other? Is it going to be the French Protoss player in the top left-hand corner of Krystianer representing Alpha X? It is Arrogfire. Here we go. Again, we apologize for the delays, but any kind of technical issues have been resolved. We are here. We're together in the land of Europa in the semifinals. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. And we'll see how this all does come to fruition. So far, we haven't had too many diverse openers in our PvPs. Obviously, we had Mindle going for the 2-base all-in last game, but it took a while to really get that underway. We'll see what our two players here prefer to do, what Arrogfire prefers here in his own PvP. So far, 2 gate openers all around, nothing too crazy. You'd love to see both probes for either player just kind of mirroring each other as well in their movement. Arrogfire looking to set up with a proxy. Oh my god. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. The proxy pilot is thrown down. Krystianer is on the hunt. He does run past our lovely Tuna, but is gonna be scouting across the map instead. And this is a prime position for a proxy Stargate, to be honest. But we'll see as Arrogfire actually does turn around with that probe. We're just gonna be scouting, just checking here towards the north. We do have a pretty interesting opener. We have a double Stalker from Arrogfire. We have Stalker Adept from Krystianer. With this, he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. He can not just assert himself with the DPS of a Stalker, but can also shade past the initial units of Arrogfire and slip into the main base for a scout. Meanwhile, we see what it is. It is a Stargate. So nothing too committed out of Arrogfire. From here, you can still expand back at home. You can still get your economy up and running. This is just designed to very quickly get that first Oracle across the map and deal some economic damage. And so far, it has gone unscattered. Krystianer, he has been looking all over the map, but he hasn't checked this location behind the rocks, behind the, almost a tall grass, behind the steam vents. As the Stalkers do move out, they do clean up the spotter, the scouting probe. But that one Adept is looking to shade past and slip into the main base. And it looks like he should be able to. Do we have a wall off? We do have a wall off in time, so the Adept doesn't make his way in. With that, doesn't know that a pylon is missing. And Krystianer is none the wiser. We have a shield battery at the natural. We have our Stalkers at the natural as well. We have a couple of sentries on the way, and these sentries will be able to provide some hallucinated scouts. But by the time the sentries come out, the Oracle is already arriving. Oh boy, here we go. Arrogfire is going to be looking to knock down the front door. At the same time, the Oracle dives into the main base. Stalkers do get here in time. But as the Stalkers defend the main, the sentries are exposed at the natural. Up! Ooh. Force fields not quite good enough to lock in those Stalkers. Arrogfire doesn't lose anything. On top of that, at least the shield battery was able to keep these sentries alive. So both players kind of bounce off each other. Krystianer has an economic advantage, did have a faster Nexus, does have a higher probe count, but Arrogfire isn't done. We have a second probe. Second probe? Second Oracle. Oh, but I spoke too soon because that one Adept from earlier did slip into the main base. 2 probes already going to be going down. These are losses that Arrogfire can't afford. He already has a weaker economy. And even though these Oracles have one-shot potential, they don't find any damage at all. Krystianer now with a 10 worker lead. Oh my god. And the Oracle goes down. GG gets called. Krystianer takes game number 1. Oh, just like that. Again, the pressure, the onus was on Arrogfire to deal damage and not sustain any losses because he already had a delayed natural. But he lost probes across the map, and the oracles, despite the proxy even, did no damage. Oh, actually no damage. I'm shocked. GG, a really solid performance there out of Krystianer. But now we're going to be getting into game number 2. Oh. And Arrogfire just trying to take a more aggressive stance in that first game, but not really finding too much success, unfortunately. Oh. It's the gamble that you take when you open up with a proxy Stargate like that. It happens. It happens. But here we go. Now we are diving into game numero 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. Currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 series, it is Krystianer. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have his opponent. We have the French Protoss. Oh my god, that is a bright nexus. Specifically that angle. Oh my god. It's blinding me. We have representing Alpha X, the Red Protoss player, Arrogfire. It's Jesus. I did not know that was a thing. Is it the same here? I don't know. Nexus is fine. Just like the angle the sun shines on the Nexus when we do kind of rotate over, it's very bright. It's like looking at the sun, Bobby. Jesus. But alright, here we go. We do have, once again, 2 gate openers all around. Arrogfire, I love this scout. He just dips in, confirms that there is no wall at the natural. Then dips the hell out of there. Oh. And this probe is in a pretty interesting location. Krystianer skirting the edges of the map as we speak. Moving to avoid any kind of scout and maybe come across a proxy as well. Meanwhile, we'll see what first 2 units are going to be coming out. There is that proxy pylon from Arrogfire, and I don't think he intends to slow down as he does have 2 probes on the map. He's setting up for a standard scouting path with his second probe. Oh, and Krystianer, is he going to scout? Oh. Doesn't quite come across that pylon. As this is not going to be a proxy Stargate, instead a proxy Robo instead. So Arrogfire is setting up for a 1-base all-in. Krystianer, for the time being, is none the wiser. Oh, but looking at the pathing here of this probe, he's once again going to be shining a light on the lovely Tuna. Does check the center of the map, it goes up the ramp and does come across the Robo. Now, just because he's seen it, it doesn't mean that he has defended. As the initial Stalkers are going to be sent out on the map to shut down that pylon, Arrogfire is going to be looking to fight over that pylon as well. Should be sending a second probe. There we go, the second probe has arrived to throw down a backup pylon if need be. But the probe goes down, and as a result, this pylon will fall. Aye, not like this. The pylon goes down. This Immortal is so delayed as well. The backup probe is so late. See Arrogfire just trying to fight back, trying to get this repowered, but no, he overextends. 1 Stalker goes down, 2nd Stalker will go down as well. Oh, the probe, no! The probe falls, the pylon is under threat, and that may just be it. That may just be GG. Arrogfire, he's throwing down the 3rd gateway back at home. He throws down a Twilight Council. He's attempting to transition, but he invested so much into keeping this alive. He lost a pylon, 2 probes, and 2 Stalkers in the process. this is just a disastrous start here for our French Protoss. He's going to try and get ready back at home, but Krystianer, he responded with his own Robo. He's got his own Immortal. He's got his own Prism on the way. Krystianer just has so much momentum. And interesting, he's actually looking for a ninja. He's just making sure that nothing crazy is going on. Scouting the bottom right hand corner of the map, making sure that nothing is amiss as he does take his own expansion. But with the power of this Immortal and these sentries as well, I do think that Krystianer, he could try and bust this main. Obviously, he doesn't need to. I think a more secure way to play this out is Krystianer expands, saturates his natural base, gets his production up and running. And if he ever sees Arrogfire try to expand, then we just deny the natural. But yeah, that's the goal here of this hallucination. Confirms we're still on one base. 4 gateways in the main. 4 gate blink is going to be the follow-up here from Arrogfire. Oh boy. And does Krystianer have enough to defend? Still a couple of seconds away from blink finishing. These Stalkers do arrive a little bit prematurely. Oh, I love this hallucinated Immortal as well. Oh, there we go. The shields are activated on the hallucination. A second/third Immortal shows up. And there is no way to break the natural. Oh. There's some nice control there as well from Krystianer. Once we do get up to 3 Immortals, I do think we can move out. Obviously, we have to be careful because if we move out and the Stalkers stick around, they can blink into the main and force a weird kind of base trade scenario. Again, that's why the sentry is here for that hallucination. Speaking of, there it is. We do now have high ground vision. Arrogfire going to try and slip into the main base. Krystianer, he doesn't know, Papi. He doesn't know. The Stalkers, they do blink in, and they're going to be able to pick off some of these probes. Honestly, again, necessary damage. Arrogfire, he has to come back economically. Gets 3 probes. And should be able to blink out. Should be dead. Oh my god, but we just see Krystianer coming in from behind with his Immortals, but only 3 Immortals. They're looking very exposed. And this is not the best fight for Krystianer. He loses 2 Immortals for, I want to say 4 Stalkers. I don't know. I feel like these Immortals are quite valuable. As we recall all the way back home, we do have a couple of adepts shading into the main base. Ugh. Krystianer doing a great job with that counter damage, with that prism. Will eventually lose his adepts, but I mean, that was the equivalent of what Arrogfire did across the map with his Blink Stalkers. Arrogfire forced to stay at home, trying to build up his own Immortal count. And once Krystianer has his own blink, I do think that he should be moving out. I don't think it's necessary for Krystianer to take a 3rd base at this point, especially with this gateway explosion. I do think that he can push out with what he has. Looking at the army supply here, we have an equal amount of Stalkers on both sides, but Krystianer does have 3 Immortals to only the 2 of Arrogfire. He goes to the Prism, and he will get it. He denies the warp in, but at the cost of everything else, an Immortal falls. We're trying to warp in as many Stalkers as possible. But what can Stalkers really do against the face, or in the face, of 3 Immortals? Ay, ay, ay. The Overcharge is putting in a lot of work, to be fair. A lot of work. Boys are being pulled as well. How good is the blink control going to be? It's pretty damn good. It looks like one Immortal is going to fall. A little bit of a miscontrol there from Krystianer. He did shoot his own unit there. But GG gets called. It's just a little bit too much. Krystianer will take the series 2-0 and advance on to the grand finals. GG, well played. Again, Krystianer, he did come in as the favorite. I assumed, looking at the bracket, that the one to stop Krystianer would be either Demi or even Mio Micah. But they both fell in the first round. Surprisingly, they both fell in the first round, and Krystianer makes his run to Los Gran Finales. Let's go. GG, well played. Shout out to Arrogfire. We saw quite an aggressive style out of him in both Game 1 and Game 2. Game 1 was Proxy Stargate. Game 2 was Proxy Robo. But here in Game 2, having your proxy Robo shut down in such a fashion, it's so difficult to come back from that. It's like you're so committed, you're investing so many resources early on into that all-in, and for you to try to transition out of that, it's difficult for even the best player in the world to do that, to pull that off. Is quite difficult to come back from that situation. So GG, well played. Congratulations to Krystianer. And again, shout out to Arrogfire for making it to the semifinals, and I would love to see more of him in the future, in future Sparkling Tuna Cups. Hopefully we do. Hopefully we do. As we are going to be getting ready for our next series, and do we have it ready for us? That is the question. We do! Oh, we're going to our Medicap app.